Hi everybody! Today we thought instead of playing the game we would talk about something, and something that's quite important to both of us is fan culture and how it's shown in the media. So that's what we're going to be talking about today.
Well, you see, the reason why we decided to talk about this mostly is because there was a recent documentary on BBC One that was kind of following Tom Felton and kind of the fan culture, and he was kind of exploring fan culture and trying to figure out where the line is, basically. You know, where do we draw the line between
a fan and a complete psycho.
Yes, yeah. So we thought we'd talk about that ourselves, basically. Where we think the line is drawn, so to speak.
What I don't like is people assume that, especially around conventions, fans are all middle-aged or older men in parkas, whereas in reality, because I go to far too many conventions, it's all young girls, like from 14 onwards. So that's what irritates me most. People make assumptions about the demographics of fans that aren't true at all.
I've only ever been to one Comic-Con last year, and I remember when I told people that I was going to it, some people were a bit like, oh really, like, it's that a bit weird?
You'll meet creepy old men.
It's not
It's not like that at all.
I think there used to be a stigma attached to it, but I think it's becoming more socially acceptable.
Yeah. Do you know what I think is the reason for that? New Who.
Really?
Yeah, because conventions have always been around, but before New Who, they were like classic Who conventions or Star Trek conventions, and you did tend to get the older man there. But since New Who, a lot more interest has been generated through younger people, and more younger people go to cons.
That makes sense, actually, yeah.
So I definitely think
It's
that's
become a lot more of a younger thing.
the catalyst for it.
Too much of one thing is unhealthy, whatever it is, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like what Daniel Radcliffe was saying, that it is, in a way, a drug when you become that obsessed with something, just one thing, like that fixated on one thing.
Because there's escapism, and then there's that becoming your life.
Yes.
Rather than the life you escape from.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's such an interesting thing to like look into, because it is hard to find the line.
I think at the point where there is one specific person, if it's a real person that you follow constantly, that's unhealthy.
Mm-hmm.
If there is a general TV show or a series that you admire, that's not so bad, because you're not following one real person having an adverse effect on that person's life.
Yes.
But the point where real people become affected, I don't like that at all. I don't like fan fiction about real people.
No, I think that's very uncomfortable.
That's uncomfortable, especially when someone brings that to their attention. I don't like how chat show hosts give actors fan fiction for their characters. I think that's deeply uncomfortable and really wrong.
Yeah.
Because it's just not right.
Even like on like people's YouTube channels where they comment like about the fan fiction between them two, it's just like, you do realise that's their channel. It's just really awkward.
Like on Dan and Phil, they make a joke out of it. But I can really understand how YouTubers would be frightened by that in a way.
Yeah.
Or made deeply uncomfortable. I mean, even when Charlie and Alex did that video together, that was still uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was just all shades of wrong.
I mean, I think fan fiction gets an awful lot of bad press.
Oh, completely, because I'm happy to say that I write a lot of fan fiction, and it's a fantastic way to practice writing, if that makes any kind of sense.
Yeah.
And as well, if you find a good one to read, that's amazing.
Yeah, yeah,
It
exactly.
fills in the little shipper hole in your heart.
That is true. That is true. You can get very easily absorbed in a piece of fan fiction if it's well written. It's weird how there's literally, well, it's not weird, it's just really like bizarre how there's like fan fiction for literally everything and anything, isn't there?
Tell them what you've been reading recently, Lily.
I'm not ashamed of it. You know, takes all sorts. Takes all sorts in the world. I've been reading Peter Pan and Wendy fan fiction, where they're teenagers and they've fallen in love properly, and it's all smushy and.
But that's just proof that there is fan fiction about literally anything. Take the Zayn incident recently. I agree, it might have been a bit far for people to take compassionate leave from work, which some people actually did.
Wow.
Because they were mourning. It's alright, 2 days later we dropped a single, it's fine. But then, at the same time, these grown adults were shaming young girls for this, and then Jeremy Clarkson, for hitting a member of his team, was fired. There were petitions, there were men screaming. The Stig apparently went to the BBC in a tank. What is the difference between those middle-aged men who have nothing better to do with their lives than shout at the TV, and those girls who had invested like a love in a band. What is the difference between those two groups? How come footballers, especially like Newcastle Sunderland Derby, are allowed to be so violent and vicious and just destroy businesses and hurt people? Why is that allowed, and why is that okay, and why is that a thing that happens every year, and yet calm, happy conventions are looked down upon?
Yeah.
I really do not understand the merit of one over the other.
Yeah. That's a really good point, that.
It's bizarre, and I just don't understand how just because one's considered normal, how that's okay.
The world has some strange priorities.
Kind of does. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I was a parent, I would rather my kid was like reading and like getting off the face mortal and going to a football match and punching someone in the face.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's just getting inspired by someone else's creativity. I don't see how that's a negative thing.
Could you ever see yourself getting to the line with something?
I don't know, I think, because it is all about escapism, isn't it, at the end of the day? Like, quite often when we watch a film, we want to escape, that's why we go to the cinema and stuff. So yeah, I guess there are points where I do think, oh, maybe need to calm down, like, or maybe, like when I was ill, for example, Doctor Who and Friends were the two things that I watched religiously, and it got me through. Like, they do get you through dark times, and they're good escapisms. Like, they're good to, and I will always look back at those particular Doctor Who episodes that were on at the time when I was ill, or those particular Friends episodes that I enjoyed the most that I used to watch, and they have a special place because I'm just like, they did get me through quite a lot. They did like keep me going, and like, is that a bit too far and too deep to say that? But you know, it's just a personal thing, isn't it?
I don't think that's too far to feel that, because that genuinely helped. Because I thought something was helping, and I realised it kind of made me a little bit ill because I decided to read all 7 Harry Potters in 7 days. And I know it doesn't seem like such a bad thing, but looking back, it probably was because I didn't sleep for a week. And then I did that quite a few times. I just didn't sleep for a week and just read all the Harry Potters in a week when I had school and other things going on. So that was probably the part where I thought, I should put this down for a bit, because I had a history GCSE and one of the sources was the Daily Telegraph, and halfway through the essay I read, I'd been writing the Daily Prophet, because I'd been reading the Order of the Phoenix before I went into the exam. So that was kind of the point where I took a step back.
I thought, whoa now, sinking into real life.
But then I got into it all again, and you know, fandoms and TV shows and escapism really do help you through a rough time, because they help me. And I go to cons every few months and I meet people who are in the same boat as me, and it's just lovely and it really helps. So again, I think it's just when you approach real people that it becomes the issue. Like when an actor starts to remember you for the wrong reasons, that's when you need to stop.
Yeah.
Like if you start to scare someone else, that's the line.
Yes.
Like the harm principle.
Yes, yeah. It says like you can do whatever you want with your own life. What you're obsessed with is your business. But once it starts affecting other people, that's the line, I guess.
We found the line.
We found the line. Woo! Problem solved.
We hope you've enjoyed the line.
Yes. We've enjoyed this journey that we've gone on together.
Yeah. See you soon.
See you soon.
Bye. You can get absorbed in writing it.
I can imagine.
70,000 words later and we're nowhere near done. It's fine.
Like, where do you stop? Do you just keep on going forever and ever?
Typically Godric's Hollow.
Now it's just chest. I don't even know where the button is. Where's the button?
See, sexy and scream dance.
Oh no, we can't copy that.
See this button here? This is movie.
Okay.